Everyone thinks they know what Stoicism means. They picture a stone-faced man staring into the distance, a person who feels nothing, detached, cold, emotionless. But that's not Stoicism. That's the mask people wear when they don't understand themselves. True Stoicism is not about feeling less. It's about understanding more. It's not about becoming unshakable by suppressing emotion. It's about learning how to stand in the storm without losing your center. In a world that rewards loudness and outrage, calmness seems suspicious. If you don't react, they call you cold. If you stay silent, they call you weak. But silence, when born of clarity, is not weakness. It is control. The Stoics understood something most people still miss. You don't need to attend every argument your ego invites you to. You don't have to answer every insult that touches your pride. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He ruled Rome at its height. Armies, wealth, endless politics. Yet his diary, written in the dead of night, was not about conquest. It was about calm. It was about discipline of thought. It was about how to live well and die unafraid. But Stoicism didn't start in palaces. It began with a man who had lost everything. Zeno of Citium was a merchant from Cyprus. One voyage, his ship sank near Athens, and all his cargo was lost to the sea. He washed up on foreign shores with nothing, no money, no family, no plan. But sometimes life takes away everything so that you can finally ask the only question that matters. How should I live? Zeno wandered into a bookstore in Athens and found himself reading about Socrates. He was fascinated. He asked the bookseller, "Where can I find a man like this?" At that moment, the philosopher Crates happened to be walking by. The bookseller pointed and said, "Follow that man." And he did. That single decision began the Stoic school. The teachings of the Stoa Poikile, the painted porch. That's where Stoicism got its name. Zeno taught that peace doesn't come from avoiding hardship, but from meeting life on its own terms. He believed that virtue, not wealth, not pleasure, not comfort, was the only true good. Because everything else can be taken from you, but character cannot. From Zeno came Calmness, the second head of the Stoa. A man who carried water at night just to afford his studies by day. He once wrote, "Lead me, Zeus, and you, O destiny, wherever your laws direct. I will follow without hesitation." Calmness taught that freedom doesn't mean doing whatever you want. It means wanting whatever happens, because it's in harmony with nature. Then came Chrysippus, the third head, the great systematizer, the architect of Stoic philosophy. He built Stoicism into a complete worldview, logic as its bones, physics as its soul, ethics as its flesh. He showed that philosophy is not a luxury of thought, but a discipline of living, one that demands consistency between word, thought, and action. These men didn't preach Stoicism to appear strong. They practiced it to survive. They knew the storms of fate would come for everyone, and that peace isn't found in waiting for calm seas, but in learning how to steer in any storm. Think of your own life, the disappointments, the betrayals, the things you can't control. What if each of those moments was not punishment, but training, a test of your inner discipline? That's what Stoicism teaches. Not how to escape the world, but how to walk through it with grace, clarity, and strength. This video will walk you through 5 truths about Stoicism that most people never learn. Truths that can reshape how you see pain, control, power, and peace itself. Truth 1. Stoicism is emotional intelligence, not emotional suppression. Stoicism begins where emotional chaos ends. It's not about killing emotion, it's about understanding it. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest thinkers, said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The Stoics saw emotion as a reaction to judgment. Anger isn't born from what happens, but from what we believe should have happened. Fear isn't the future itself, but our belief that we won't be able to handle it. The Stoic doesn't push emotion away. He listens to it, studies it, traces it back to its cause, and asks, "Is this within my control?" You can't control that someone insulted you, but you can control the story you tell yourself about what that means. You can't control that the world changes, but you can control whether you resist or adapt. You can't control that loss hurts, but you can choose to let pain carve space for wisdom. Take a deep breath. Think of the last time your peace was stolen. Was it the event or your interpretation of it? If it's the second, then peace is closer than you think. Truth 2. Stoicism is a system, not a slogan. People often reduce Stoicism to motivational quotes or mental toughness. But the Stoics built a complete structure for understanding life. They divided philosophy into 3 interconnected parts: logic, physics, and ethics. Logic teaches you to think clearly, to separate opinion from truth, appearance from essence. Physics teaches you to understand nature, that everything is connected by reason, the logos, and that the universe unfolds according to a divine rational order. Ethics teaches you to live in harmony with that order, to act with virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These aren't separate subjects. They are one organism, reason, reality, and behavior intertwined. The Stoics compared philosophy to a tree. Logic is the roots. It grounds you. Physics is the trunk. It gives life structure. Ethics is the fruit. It nourishes both yourself and others. Without all 3, the tree dies. Without logic, your thoughts rot. Without physics, you forget your place in nature. Without ethics, you lose your humanity. That's the system the Stoics built. A philosophy not for debate, but for daily life. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly examined your thoughts or questioned whether your actions align with your values? That examination, that moment of awareness, is the first step toward wisdom. Truth 3. Control is not about power, it's about presence. Epictetus was born a slave. He walked with a limp because his master once broke his leg. He owned nothing, not even his freedom. Yet he taught the world one of the greatest truths ever spoken. Some things are in our control and some are not. That's the dichotomy of control, the cornerstone of Stoic practice. You cannot control what happens, but you can always control your response. Epictetus used to tell his students, if someone insults you, remember, they aren't hurting you, they're showing you who they are. This doesn't mean passivity, it means mastery. Because when you stop fighting what's beyond you, you reclaim energy for what's within you. A Stoic does not aim to bend the world, he aims to align with it, to control nothing except his own mind, his thoughts, his choices, his discipline. Try this practice. Think of one thing that's been weighing on you, something out of your hands. Now imagine setting it down. You don't ignore it. You simply stop carrying what was never yours. That is freedom. Truth 4. Power is silent. Marcus Aurelius commanded the mightiest empire on earth, but in the solitude of his journal, he was just a man reminding himself how to stay kind. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." He faced betrayal, political chaos, illness, and death. And yet, he never blamed fate. He thanked it for the opportunity to practice virtue. Cleanthes said, "Lead me, Zeus, and you, O destiny." He knew that resistance to what must happen only multiplies suffering. The Stoic's power is quiet. It's not about dominance or control over others. It's the calm authority of someone who leads himself. That's the kind of power that can't be taken away because it doesn't depend on circumstances, only on clarity. Power is not in the voice that shouts. It's in the mind that understands when to stay silent. It's in the man who chooses dignity over reaction. Ask yourself, do you want to be right or do you want to be free? Because freedom begins the moment you stop explaining yourself to the world. Truth 5. Calmness is the highest form of strength. To the Stoics, apatheia meant freedom from destructive passions. It didn't mean emptiness. It meant clarity, the calm after understanding. When a storm hits, trees that are rigid break, but the tree that bends survives. Calmness is not weakness. It is flexibility, resilience, wisdom in motion. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Life will test you, through people, failures, delays, and loss. But every trial is a mirror showing you what part of yourself still reacts. The Stoic doesn't chase a life without pain. He builds a mind that pain cannot control. Imagine walking through your day with a calm so deep that nothing external can touch it. That's the goal of Stoicism. Not detachment, but dominion. Calmness gives you vision. It lets you respond, not react. It allows you to think clearly, love deeply, and endure quietly. Now reflect. Which truth resonates with you most? Understanding, alignment, control, discipline, or calm? Comment that one word. That's your next step toward mastery. The truth about Stoicism is this: it's not about becoming unfeeling, it's about becoming unshakable. It's not about denying pain, it's about transforming it into wisdom. Zeno lost his fortune and found philosophy. Cleanthes carried water and found freedom. Epictetus lived in chains and found inner strength. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and found peace. 4 lives, 4 very different worlds. 1 philosophy. Stoicism is the art of living, of walking through chaos with a calm heart, of loving the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. When anger comes, breathe. When fear whispers, act with courage. When pain arrives, let it teach you. And when silence falls, listen. Because silence in Stoicism is not emptiness, it's presence. It's the space where strength grows. Remember, you don't control the world. You control how you move through it. You don't control how others behave. You control whether you live by your values. The Stoic doesn't chase perfection. He practices awareness. He doesn't escape life. He embraces it. Take one deep breath. Whisper to yourself, I am calm. I am present. I am free. Then type one word, STOIC, below. Not for attention, but as a declaration that your peace is your power. Thank you for walking this path. May you see with clarity, act with virtue, and live in harmony with nature. Until next time, remain unshaken. If you're finding these lessons helpful, consider subscribing for more insights every week. Or which of these lessons resonated with you most? Let us know in the comments. Once again, thank you and goodbye.